All right, hello everybody. I am so excited. There's something new that I started doing over the past couple of weeks is just brainstorming and figuring out how to help coaches in our network, help people that are interested in this opportunity understand what goes into it. So I've been doing my research and going around and finding other coaches that are just rocking certain avenues of this business. And I'm bringing you guys Kandace Rogers today, who is destroying the branding aspect of this business and how she's completely just transformed herself and her, found her audience and found her people through Instagram and just by being 150% herself, which is so important in this business. So to give you guys a little bit of background on Kandace, she is the founder of Team Rise and Lotus. She was a success starter, meaning that she helped 3 to 5 people in her first 3 months of the business. She is now an all-star legend that continued past the 3 months for 38 months straight. She is a 3-star diamond coach. She has been in the top 100 for 2 years straight. She went 93 and 97, and she's here to talk to us today. So, Kandace, if you don't mind, give me a little bit of background on your story and how you found Beachbody and all that good stuff.
All right. Thank you so much. Happy to be here. Okay. So before coaching, I had no clue about fitness. I had no clue about health. I was the girl that said I didn't work out because it wasn't my thing and eating healthy was too hard. So all of that was out, and everybody looks at me now and they're like, she's always been like that. And that is so not the case. And I want to bring that into awareness, because if you do see, some coaches' profiles, you're like, oh, it's easy for them. We come up with those excuses in our head as to why we can't do it because it seems like they've always been like that. I haven't. No freaking clue, right? So I was just unhappy. I was an unhappy person because I wasn't healthy. I was depressed. I was overweight. I tried to do something with my fitness. I thought fitness was the answer, so I dabbled into some boot camps. I did some classes. I went to a few things here and there with friends. They had to drag me, by the way. I didn't want to go. They had to drag me there. So I finally started seeing a little bit of results, just a little bit of change in my body. And I got excited and I was like, oh, okay, this is the answer. I found it. So I would literally go to the gym like crazy and just run on the treadmill. And I was like, this is the answer. But I wasn't getting the results I wanted. So I would feel frustrated because I would work so hard to barely see anything. And then one week it would be great. And the next week it would be like, what happened to me? I didn't understand. I had no clue about food. In that time, also, my husband had gotten laid off at his job while I was on this whole new journey of I want more out of, my body or whatever. He got laid off. And so he had to search for work elsewhere. He found an opportunity out of town. And so we had this house, and it was a 3-bedroom house with a big, 2-car garage. It was a big house. We had a big house, big backyard. I had dogs, and he took an opportunity out of town. So he left. So here I am at home, kind of okay, my husband's gone Monday through Friday. So as you could imagine, over, a year or two, that went on, and we kind of grew apart. I mean, we didn't spend any time together. Sometimes he had to work on the weekends, and I wouldn't even see him. He was going out to the bars more often, which isn't something he ever really did. It wasn't something I did either. But then we got so bored and disconnected that we were searching for other things to do with our time and to entertain us. I started shopping like crazy. I had all these voids that I was filling with material items, with alcohol, and I was just sad. And I couldn't face the reality that I didn't feel like a wife anymore, and I wasn't happy with myself. Nothing seemed to be going right. My job sucked. Let me rephrase that. My job was great for where I lived. It had great benefits. It paid well. I had a great job, but I wasn't happy. Everyone would look at it and they would say, why are you not happy? You have benefits, you have this, you have that. It's a 9 to 5, you have weekends off. And I'd be like, it doesn't fulfill me. I go there every day and I do this. I just type shit in on the computer, and I was bored. I wanted more. I always felt like I was meant for more. I just literally had no clue beyond that. I didn't even think about it beyond that because it wasn't for me. I went to college for a semester. I didn't finish it because it didn't feel right. I didn't feel like that was where I was supposed to go. So I literally felt like I failed at my life before my life even started, because I was the girl who everyone would see when we go into town, and they'd be like, oh, so what do you do now, Kandace? And I'd be like, worked the same dead-end job for the past 4 years, right? And I had no room for advancement. I could barely pay my bills, especially with Cody living out of town and me having a house and he was renting a room. We had double groceries, double gas. If I wanted to see him, I had to pay, gas to get there. It was 2.5 hours away, 2.5 hours back, so it was expensive. And I didn't see any other way. I felt super hopeless. I started numbing my bad emotions, being sad, being depressed. I started just sweeping them under the rug. So I'd go drink with my friends and just try to, escape reality. Like I think a lot of people say nowadays, like, I want to escape reality because reality, sucks or whatever. And I would go into public and people would be like, oh, where's your husband? Oh, where's he? And I'd be like, oh, he's out of town for work. And they're like, oh my God, isn't that so sad? Aren't you so sad? Doesn't that suck? And I'd be like, no, it's fine. We're great. Because like, what was I supposed to say? Yeah, I'm sad. I cry all the time. I cry every time he leaves. Every Sunday when he has to leave, I stand at the door and I cry because he's gone. No, I'd be like, I'm good. But I found when you numb the bad, by default, you also numb the good. So anytime I did get to see him, I couldn't really enjoy it because I was numbing all my emotions. And then we got to the point where we just fought. We just fought because we were both so miserable and unhappy and broke, living paycheck to paycheck. Like he had a good job, I had a good job, but for some reason it just wasn't working. We were just barely making it by, but we were working our asses off. So honestly, I was scrolling Facebook and I saw, I think it was Summit 2014, just very randomly. And I saw these coaches in like these glittery dresses. They were like super glittery. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And they were walking the stage. And in my head, I was like, I want to be there. I had no idea what it was. It sounds super corny. It sounds like I'm making this up. I swear to God, I'm not. I saw it and I was like following it on, like a creepy stalker. Like, what are these people doing? Why are they radiating like this happiness? Like, this is a job. People don't love their jobs. It's just people don't love their jobs. People go to work and they're miserable. This isn't real, right? So I started following coaches that were near me and I was like, okay, they do love their job. And then I found my coach that I have today, which was not the original coach I was talking to. I found her because she showed up every day. She showed up when shit was hard. She shared things that were a struggle. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'll never forget this picture of her in these jeans. And they were shorts. They were just basic little shorts. And she was like, this is how shorts are supposed to fit. And they weren't digging into her love handles. Her legs weren't trying to like explode out the bottom. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm so unhappy with how mine fit. I want mine to fit like that. And I told her, I was like, I want to look like that. And she was like, you can. And I was like, no, So I talked to her for a long time. I followed her because she showed up. Like I said, that is very important to me. Her showing up every single day and showing me that I could do hard shit because she did it. I told my husband maybe like 6 months later because I was a very big like skeptic and everyone around me was like, that's a scam. It's a pyramid scheme. It's a scam. It's not real. Shakeology is a bunch of crap. It's a bunch of fillers. And I printed out the ingredient list. I printed it out like the label and I took it to my friend and I was like, look at it. It's not, it's real food. It's like real things. It's not fake. And they were like, no. That's just, they don't show you. So I let the opinions of other people weigh on me for a long time. Actually, I didn't jump into coaching for a year because I went back and forth with all these people that were trying to tell me what was best for my life and what was and what wasn't. And my mom and my dad and everyone around me, my husband said, absolutely not. You are not doing this. It's just another bill. We can't even afford to pay rent. We can't even afford to buy groceries. How would you think we could afford to do this, Kandace? And I remember taking him to breakfast when we visited each other one weekend. And I was like, hey, I just have to tell you, this is so important to me, but I feel like I need to be a coach. And he was like, absolutely not. I started crying in the restaurant. Like I was crying because I like felt like I just like poured my heart out to him. And he just was like, nope. So, finally a friend loaned me money and I was just like, I'm going to do it. And so I told my husband, I was like, I'm doing this. You didn't pay for it. It didn't come out of my pocket. My coach said, if I help 3 people a month, I will earn my money back. I'll pay my girl that loaned me money back. And then I'm going to keep doing it. So I'll just pay it off and you'll never have to pay for it. I'll do that and you'll never pay for it. And he was like, yeah, right. You start everything and then you quit. And I did. I was a chronic quitter. Anytime something got uncomfortable, it got hard, I was out. And that's how it was with anything in my life before this. I had no, I didn't have support. I didn't have anyone around me that wanted to be better. Everyone around me was living a life I didn't want, yet I was listening to them and taking their advice. So that's kind of I jumped in. That's what it was. I jumped in. I saw this business for the opportunity that it was, a way out of a life that I was not happy living, a way out of depression, a way out of a body that I just didn't feel comfortable in, but I worked too freaking hard not to see results. Obviously it's like super simple. I was way overcomplicating it before. But yeah, I just saw it as a way out and I jumped in. I did not look back at all. I was like, I'm gone. I hate this life. I used this business to completely transform my insides, my outsides, my relationship, my living situation. About a year and a half in, I was able to quit that job. That was a great job with benefits. And I moved with my husband, you know, because coaching was able to fully supplement because I worked hard because I was like, I have to get out of here. I'm not happy. So, yeah.
And the funny thing about you too, and I mean, I've known you for, 3 years now, I think. And when I first met you, you were so quiet. And I know that your personality, you're very introverted. And I know that it's funny because the way you come off now is so confident, and you're so like, you've changed so much over the past 3 years. It's truly amazing. But you've branded yourself into the human you are today. And I think the coolest thing about you is that you've never once, since you started coaching, and this is just from an outsider's perspective, strayed away from who you truly are. And I think it's important to know that, for somebody that it was quieter like you were, and somebody who did like to be alone a lot of the time, you built this thing into something amazing. Like you were able to move with your husband, you were able to do all this stuff. So your Instagram right now is thriving. Your Facebook pages, they thrive. Like you do incredible. What was the starting point into transitioning into this brand of who you are? And I don't know, any tips that you can give us?
Absolutely. Thank you, by the way. Thank you. I will say, to the quiet introvert thing, people are like, I just don't like people. And I'm like, cool, because like I used to say that too, but it's because I didn't like myself, and I wasn't confident in my decisions because I didn't understand my personality. So I just think it's important to speak to that. I've done so much personal development. That was, my coach did not tell me to do. I was like, okay, I'm a quiet person. Why? And I wanted to know, I act like this. Why? I'm an introvert. Why? What does that mean? And I'd read things about me and learn me. And then I would be confident and like, this is why I do this. And it's not weird. And then I owned it, because I think like that's the most powerful thing, is to know who we are. Like learning me was my most exciting part of this journey, is learning me and then sharing that with others that maybe, because we're put into this society where they're like, be this, dress like this, say this, don't say this, be this skinny, don't be this skinny, don't get this big, don't get this muscular. You know what I mean? It's like we're constantly getting hit with all these should and shouldn't be's. And when I first started coaching, I remember making a post and I was like, okay, what do you want me to say? And she was like, say whatever you want to say. And I was like, what? She's like, yes, you be you. And I was like, huh? Because every other job I've ever had before this, I've always had a different personality, but I was never allowed to be me. I was told, you will wear this, you will not wear this, you will not show your tattoos, you will take your piercing out, you will speak this way, you will say this script, And I was always told to be this person that I wasn't, but it was like putting on a show, and it's kind of sometimes what we have to do in certain jobs. And I was so excited. I was like, coaching is the first place that I can be 100% myself. And the more I can get comfortable just showing people that side of me, like who I really am, the more I can attract people that are just like me. And I want to hang out with people that are just like me, and they don't make fun of me for, lip syncing stuff on Instagram story, because I'm just having fun. And I think the coolest part of this business is that I focus on like, am I having fun? If I'm doing something and it's not fun, like, is it really me? Like, yes, there's going to be hard work and it's not all fun and rainbows and butterflies, but is it me? And I've done a few things where I've replicated things that other people have done rather than duplicating. In my opinion, replicating is copying exactly their style. Duplicating is getting inspired by them and then making it your own. And that's something that I've always had a lot of fun doing. But when I did the replicate thing, it felt gross. I didn't feel authentic. It didn't feel like me. And I feel like it came across fake, not me. Like I would use a graphic that someone else would use. And I was like, I would never do that. I don't even like that. So I found that real quick. Like if it doesn't feel good, if it doesn't feel like me, if it doesn't feel like something I would even say or, talk to someone or whatever, like don't do it, because people are going to get that. So I realized like there's no rules with this business. There's no rules. Like obviously there are the 4 vitals and they're the basics. We all do those. We all have to do them to be successful, but we can do them differently. So I would see what other people were doing and I would get an idea, but then I was like, how can I do this better or do this and make it me? So for example, just going to use this as an example. When I committed to Country Heat, the country dance program, that's not really me, but I was like, okay, well, I'll go get cowgirl boots and I'll go get a cowgirl hat and I'll get like some jeans and a plaid and I'll make it fun. And then I was like sitting back and I was like, that sounds lame. And like, no shame to the people that love that type of thing, but I don't. I like rap. I like, all this crazy music, and I like some country. But I was trying to make myself into something that I wasn't, and it wasn't authentic, and I felt it, and I was like, it doesn't feel good. So I switched that. I changed the music in my program to like rap music. And then I made videos. I had fun. I danced with my dog. I wore a tutu a couple times, and I just made it fun. And it attracted people, because when you're having fun and it's like your energy is different. When you're 100% authentic and true to who you are, people are attracted to that, and you'll feel it. And I honestly think that's why people are attracted to my page, because I'm very authentic. I'm transparent and vulnerable. I feel like I got off of like what the question was, but I feel like it's super important. Like if it doesn't feel fun or it doesn't feel like you, I think you need to sit back and think about what that would look like. And if you don't know, I feel like you need to do a lot more PD on getting to know yourself and who you are and why you do the things you do, and own it. Like, I'm quiet, I'm weird, I'm awkward. I always use the alien emoji to like show people I'm weird, and there are people out there I talk to every day that are like, well, I'm just super awkward. I'm like, so own it. Like, why is a personality trait all of a sudden a flaw? It only is if you view it that way. And I just think that we live in a society that tells us we should be a certain way. And I don't think that that's the case. And I think that's why all my shit thrives. What was the other question?
I think that, you pretty much covered it. And that's what I was going to say is you've seen, we all know that, social media is changing a lot lately and going away from, Facebook's harder to reach your crowd, but you've really excelled over on Instagram, being yourself completely, like you said, on your Instagram stories, doing things that are 150% you, owning the awkwardness, owning your highlights, but at the same time, it's like, what would you say you've been doing over there that has attracted your people in there? Like, you've been working on Instagram, I'm assuming, for a while now.
Yeah, I had an Instagram before I even started coaching. And honestly, I've always had like a super, high interest and passion for photos. I just didn't really know how to like use it to a good benefit, other than like posting drunk party pictures and stuff like that. That was really stupid. But I've had an Instagram for a long time, and I love pictures. And I think that I understand there's some people that come into this and they're like, I'm not good at photos. And taking photos and being creative, it's like a skill. You'll learn it. It's something you can definitely improve, finding your style and your brand. For me, it's changing. Like, who I was when I first started as a coach, the way everything looks is not how it looks now. How it looked even 2 months ago is not how it looks now. And I found that I'm constantly changing and evolving while still staying true to like what I like. I look at my stuff and I'm like, do I like that photo? Would I stop if I was like, oh, that's pretty? Would I stop? Would I be like, oh, what is she doing? I always think like, would people be like, who in the hell is this girl? And that's kind of what I base my stuff on. Like, what is she doing? Sometimes I'm really into the gray and then the pop of color right now. I've been doing that a lot lately, and everyone's like, how do you do that? Ugh. I don't know why. They just love it. So I find what people respond to, and I do that. What I found, like what you said the other day on our team call, which was like, yes, if something's not working, I don't keep doing it. I'm like, okay, sharing my fitness accountability on Facebook is not working. It works on Instagram, but now I have to work in sharing the story. So I think the biggest thing there is just tweaking and finding what works, and obviously asking yourself, like, am I attracted to this? Because people just think, they're like, click, photo, posted, done. And it's like, no, like, you didn't even take time. So for me, I will take like 40 to 60 photos to get one freaking shot, because I think it's important. Like, this is our business. Photos matter. This is our business. Like, if you don't give a shit about photos, like, it's going to be kind of hard, because it matters. It's our business. It's the first thing everyone sees. And yeah, that's literally what I do. And then I scroll through my photos, and I'm like, I would be attracted to that one. And that's the one that I use, because whatever I like, my tribe is probably going to like, right?
Yeah. And if you had to give like a newer coach, like 3 tips on like how to take a photo, appropriately, because it's amazing how many times like I'll scroll through and I will just see dark photos, and I'll see horrible angles and things like that. If you had to give people a couple tips on how to take it, or how you're taking these photos, maybe a couple apps that you're using to help, build your brand. And I guess talking about the consistency too, because if you go to your Instagram, all of your pictures look very similar in the way that you have things organized. If you want to talk about that too.
Okay, so first and foremost, before I take a photo, okay, I'm like, okay, I'm done with my workout. I want to take a picture. I'm feeling inspired. I look at my Instagram. What does Instagram need? Does it need a close-up? Does it need a far away? Does it need a pretty selfie? And I do that. I'm not like, workout, because it gets redundant. I try to mix it up. I do my best to mix it up. First and foremost, that is my thought. What does Instagram need? And then I will make sure I have good lighting. Lighting is everything. Lighting is everything. If I could give one piece of advice, it's face the mother freaking light. Natural lighting is preferred. I didn't have a lot of really great natural light at first in here, so my husband upgraded all of our lights because I was like, please, for the love of God, get me LED white lights that are 5,000K, because it puts off a white light. And I know not everyone can do that, and that's fine. So natural lighting is preferred. Go outside, just lighting is everything. Because if someone scrolls by, it's dark, they're not going to stop. Like, why would they? They can't even see what you're doing. And the second thing is you have to be in the photo. Like 99% of the pictures need to be of you. Whether your face is half in, it's your body, it's this, it's that. I don't want to see your legs with a book. I don't want to see your legs with a cup. Like, maybe once every 18 photos, but constantly, I won't even give you a second look if it's the floor, the carpet, this, that, the dog, that, your kids, yes, you can work that stuff in, but this is your journey and people are inspired by you. And you only have literally 3 seconds for people to get to your page and make a decision. Do I want to follow her or not? If they can't tell what you're doing or who you are because all these pictures are everything else, they're going to be like, bye. That's my biggest pet peeve when I go to my coaches' pages and there's constant pictures of looking down at things. And then I'm like, no one's going to read that. That's just because it's 2018. It's not because it's not pretty or they don't care. It's just because, in my opinion, people want to see you and they want to see your face. And that's something I've never shied away from. And I feel like people who hide from the camera need to work on their confidence level. Or if you have acne, figure it out. I did. I had acne so bad the other day and I was like, oh my God, I don't even want to take a photo. I feel so ugly. So I would take photos with my hair in my face or something. And I would just get creative with it. Or I'd go outside and I would cut it off from here down and turn this way because it was all in here. We can make it work, my favorite app to adjust photos is Snapseed. It's pretty much the only one that I use, and I don't edit the photo. I don't put a crazy filter on it. What I do is I go into the lightness and I make it brighter. There's this little brush tool that is a life changer because I take pictures in my RV and in the bedroom a lot. Every photo I post has a lighting adjustment to it. I've never had, unless they're outdoor photos, when I went to the dunes and you saw those photos, I was in direct sunlight. It was beautiful. I didn't need to adjust those. But indoors, I had to adjust, or in the shade or something, I adjust every single photo, and it's with the brush tool, and I use the exposure. And I put it up to +3 or something, and then I'll do it on the light spots, not on my face usually because I don't need that, but behind me, I would brighten up these cupboards, these right here. I would brighten up all this right here, and it would really make me pop, and it would make someone stop because it's super bright and they can see you. And then I, adjust the sharpness to make sure my image is clear, but not too much. And then I have a lot of fun with the color because my hair is red, but it's not super visible in a lot of photos because indoor lighting sucks. So I'll use a saturation just right here and make it pop because I want to stand out. I always look at my photos and I'm like, what would make me stand out to where if I'm on Instagram and I've got a hashtag attached to my photo, but so do 12,000 other people and people are scrolling, why would mine stand out? And I think it's, there's different reasons. Maybe it's because I'm wearing hot pink, workout pants and I made those pop that day. And someone was like, because it caught their eye. So I just think that's something to think about and it's important and have fun with it. Whatever your style is, you'll find it. It took me a long time to find my style. I actually went through my naked Instagram photos back when I didn't use anything. I screenshot a huge chunk of them. And then I put them through different filters just to see what the majority of my feed would look good with, right? And then I used Visco, VSCO, that app. I use a very, very, very light filter on that app just to give my photos kind of a consistency, but not too much because I don't want to make them, blast it out. But there is this girl on Instagram that has pink on all her photos and it's beautiful. I love it. So you'll find your style. It's very personal. I've tried to replicate rather than duplicate what other people have done. It didn't feel right. It didn't feel like me, if that makes sense.
Now, this is all so amazing. So, I mean, to wrap it up.
And one more thing real fast before we wrap it up. That's really important. So my favorite tools for photos, because I like to mix up my feed. Before I was a coach, I would just set my camera like that and put the timer on. No big deal. That works. Or I would use the video on this side because this is 4K. This is meh, but this is way better. So I'll use the video and I'll go set it up okay, it looks good. And then it'll be right here. It's taking a video of me and I go run over and I do whatever I'm doing and I come back and I look at the video, I take a screenshot. I do this every morning when I do my workout move because the quality is better. But if you can afford it, Amazon sells super cheap tripods and super cheap Bluetooth clickers. I use those every single day. I have a blue Bluetooth clicker so I don't lose it because I lose the black ones. And then I've got a little cheapy rickety tripod from Amazon I probably have to replace like every 6 months or something, but it's so worth it because you can mix up your feed from close up, far away, and it's easy on the go. So like the reason I did this is because my husband was like, I don't want to take pictures of you anymore. And he'd get so annoyed and he would just be like, okay, I took it. And like my face is cut off and he's not even looking. And I'm like, oh my God, like I can't use this, Cody, like this matters. And he'd be like, wow. So I got a tripod so I don't have to ask anyone because I want to be self-sufficient in my business and I want to succeed without relying on anyone else to like help me out. So when I'm in town or I'm like, oh my God, look at this white wall. This would be so cool for like my invite to coaching next week. All right, Kandace, put it on the tripod. I'm going to go run over there, set up, look, see what it looks like, take some photos. And then I've got all this content. That's something that I do too, is I sometimes will take multiple shirts places or outfits and I'll just change and get content for the next few weeks. Because if you're someone that works inside a lot and you don't have a lot of natural lighting, just take a day on the weekend or wherever you are, whenever you can, and just take different outfits with different photos. And it's easy because you could like flip your hair to one side, flip your hair to the other side, put it in a bun, put the beanie. It doesn't really matter. People aren't going to know, but it's really nice to have a stockpile of content to pull from that day you're sick on the couch and you're like, oh my God, I feel like death. I'm not posting a picture today. You're like, oh my God, last week I have that really pretty one. You know what I mean? Like, and it keeps your brand going. So, cause no one wants to see me like gross and sick on the couch. Sure, if I can work it in there and it looks pretty, but like, I don't know. I hope that makes sense. But like a tripod and a Bluetooth clicker have been a game changer for me and they're not that expensive.
Awesome. All right, Sister, this was absolutely amazing. And I know that this is something that, there's my meal.
Time to eat.
I know that a lot of new coaches are going to benefit from this because I know it's something that people struggle with the most is putting themselves out there and taking the pictures and everything like that. So we really, really, really appreciate your time. Is there anything else you want to add before I let you go?
Yeah, we don't pay our bills with other people's opinions. So if someone has something to say, it is not a reflection of you and who you are. It is a reflection on them and how they're feeling inside, especially if it's negative or if it's hurtful, because hurting people hurt others. I want you guys to remember that because I talk to my coaches about this all the time. When people have something negative to say about you, it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. I think we have to step away from being narcissistic and thinking everything's about me. Oh my, no, it's about them and just think about them. They need love, right? And do you, and just be happy with it. And if you're happy with it, at the end of the day, that's all that matters is how you feel about yourself because you're the only one that has to live with it. Not my parents, not my husband. Like I have to close my eyes at the end of each night and say, I'm happy or I'm not. I can't live for someone else because that does not make me happy. So that is it.
Thank you so much. And guys, I will post her Instagram handle and her Facebook page link underneath in the comments of this video. Kandace, thank you so much. This was amazing. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me. Bye, everybody. Bye.